Hi, Shelby. Thanks for joining me today for doing a little bit of an interview. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me today.
Perfect. So we're playing Phasmophobia, which is a ghost hunting game. Kind of, I think it's a spooky one, but if you're playing it not seriously, you can also, like, be taking the piss out of the ghost. Be like, hey, Lisa, come
Oh,
on, kill me,
absolutely.
right?
It's like if you don't care, if you're not actually trying to win and you're just trying to have some fun,
Yeah, like after you've done
then
the
taking the
ghost
piss.
box enough times, you kind of like, you die on the inside a little bit, and then it's easy.
Exactly. And then it's easier. And then they have been throwing in a couple of newer, more horrifying jump scares. But I think mostly it's, you have to be in the mood to be scared. And if you're not feeling it, then it's not going to happen.
That makes absolute sense. Okay, well, I'm going to. Oh, good. Da, da. Yeah, I'm gonna
Let's
have
see.
push to talk turned on. I realized I haven't played since the update, so I'm really gonna
Oh,
quickly check.
yeah.
Is my microphone okay? Global talk, everything is perfect. I just don't want to be talking to my microphone and getting murdered while we're doing this.
Well,
Uh,
I think even with push to talk on that the ghost's ears might be an open mic, but everybody
oh
else's is
no,
a push to talk. So we might just get murdered
that's
no matter
okay.
what.
We'll just hope we entertain the ghosts. So if we want to start up a
Exactly.
random, I don't know, is there a host? Do we both have to
Oh
vote?
yeah, yeah, it's me. I've selected random. I was trying to remove the extra two flashlights, but I don't know how to do that apparently. So if I die, I'm just losing it all, and I'm okay with that. I'm
Okay,
coming to terms.
perfect. All
And,
right. Go ahead.
should we leave it on amateur, or do you want
Let's see how badly it goes, because I'm not claiming to be any sort of master ghost hunter.
and we don't have a lot of the equipment. I'm only level 4
No.
now.
No, we are really bringing a flashlight to a demon fight.
Truly. You
Yeah.
do have to ready up, and
Oh,
then
did I
I
not
can
hit ready
start
up? I'm so sorry. I thought I
you
already
no,
did.
you probably did, and then I
It
probably oh,
undoes
it's
it.
the
Good. This
campsite.
is a good
Nice.
first place to be.
Especially if it's just 2 people. That's
It's
perfect.
a really big area, lots to cover, and nowhere to run. So this is good.
Yeah.
This is good.
Mhm.
Why did
Mhm.
you pick Phasmophobia? We had a few options, of course, but did this game speak to you for any specific reason?
I like that it's quiet and that a lot of it, there's really nothing happening. You're just walking around. So I feel like that lends a better background for an interview than my
Fair.
my other favorite option, which was Left for Dead.
Yeah, that one can be a little.
It's
This a
a
laser? What
it's
is
a little
this?
Oh, yeah, it's the dots. So
Oh, this
before
is
it was
dots
like
now.
yeah, yeah, now it's like you actually have to be doing it instead of instead of just like set it and forget it, you have to be an active participant.
Oh, fun. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I have mixed feelings about it.
Fair
And
enough.
you may have noticed that my Steam name is Knife Ghost, which is because of Phasmophobia.
Oh,
So I do have a longer oh, if I can remember how to grab keys, I do have like a bit of a history with the game. So I was like, well, if he wants to see me in my natural environment as a ghost,
natural as a both. It's fun because knife ghost can imply so many circumstances. Are
so
you a
many
ghost because of
circumstances.
knives? Are you a ghost with a knife? Who knows?
Who
For the
knows?
purposes of confirming as well, you played Lieutenant Oaks in On the Line, which is ultimately why we're doing the interview. It's about video games and characters and voice acting and all these different things. It's always fun to play games with the voice actors when possible, because I feel like everyone's experience with games is possibly something they brought into how they're playing the character and the experience they're having when they're doing it. I don't know if Phasmophobia would exactly go into how you've been playing Lieutenant Oaks, but maybe it has. Would you say so?
Um, Probably not as much as say if we had gone with Left 4 Dead. A lot more guns in that game. That would have been a little more on brand for the lieutenant.
Yes.
Uh, not a lot of voice acting in Faz either, unless you're the charming British dude who speaks to you at the very beginning. There's really not a lot going on. Um, But no, I'd say that video games probably weren't like as influential in my like voice acting decisions as Lieutenant Oaks, as much as like maybe an anime would be. But I went in it completely blind, to be honest. I was like, I was a
Sure.
theater kid in high school, and that's the energy I'm bringing
Nice.
to this audiobook.
No, that's awesome. When it comes to games, would you say that you were playing games before you were interested in acting, or were you interested in acting first?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think yeah, I was playing games first. Started out, with like Kingdom Hearts and Jack and Daxter. Those were my
Oh,
my
Jack
big
and
ones when
Daxter are
I
the
was a
best.
kid.
Great
Oh,
game.
Jack, they should remake it. Like I think they've done like a remastered version, perhaps, but they should just like fully like commit to the bit. Did I leave
Absolutely.
the camp? Where am I? Okay, no, I'm here. Um, and so started gaming, and then I didn't get into acting until sixth grade, I think was what finally did it for me. I I portrayed oh sorry.
Oh, good. Are we gonna get ganked right away?
I don't think so, but I think we found where she's hanging out. Here,
Okay,
where
good.
are you?
I'm right here.
Oh, I
Oh,
was
I was
asking
asking
her.
her.
Is
Is
there a
there a
ghost
ghost
here?
here?
I really don't like what they've done to the spirit box. They've made it horrible. But
Because it was always great. Yeah.
yeah, and like it would make like a constant noise, but oh, she's touching a door. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go grab another thing.
Yeah,
Um,
UV or something.
exactly. But yeah, in the sixth grade, I think it was the sixth grade, I was in the talented and gifted program, which is a story all on its own because I didn't know for like 3 years that I was in tag. So that's like really indicative of like how much I belonged there. I'm
Oh,
sure that I
yeah.
didn't even, yeah, so talented and gifted that I didn't even understand where I was going every week. But we put on the bus stop, which is the story of Rosa Parks, the black woman who refused to give up her seat for a white man.
Sure.
Uh, but unfortunately, we had one black student in like the entire school, and he was to play Martin Luther King Jr. So he could, oh, we have a handprint.
Cool.
Um, so I was Rosa Parks. And the high that I got from like all of the kids who watched the play sending us letters that said like good job on the play. I loved it. My favorite part was when the girl got arrested. I was like, yeah, I want that forever. What am
Sure.
I looking for? Are handprints not a thing anymore? Am I crazy? Hold on.
Yeah, that's what I
Oh,
thought. I was like,
ultraviolet. Okay, it's just ultraviolet now.
yeah, okay, UV, just getting UV is the sign.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay. Oh, they changed the layout of this pretty significantly.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't remember this map at all.
Yeah, this is different. And okay. I thought it was a little weird, was like, maybe I'm just tripping.
Yeah, right? Huh. Okay, well, clearly it's this house. I'm not getting anything off dots, but maybe it's just like the activity hasn't been there.
Oh, maybe. I forgot that I grabbed the EMF too. Okay, and then we'll grab one of these. I think that's everything
Oh,
we
I'm getting
own.
freezing breath for sure.
Oh, interest. Well, they did change that. They like made it. Did I turn my light off? No, my light's just really sad. They made it so that it's like sometimes you'll see your breath, but you're not actually having freezing temps. So that makes
Sure.
no sense whatsoever. Can you give us a sign? Is there a ghost in here?
I'm just trying to stand in a dark room with dots, but nothing's happening from that, so.
Oh wait, I wanted to set down our really cool video camera. Okay, let's maybe like right. Oh nope, that's not how you do it. Hopefully that's something. That might just be the counter. All right. How old are you? I guess this is a good interview game because there's an interview inside the game.
Yeah. No, I getcha. It's...
Are you here?
Not you supposed to be asking the question. So you would largely say, you were into video games and then acting came about later. In anime is
Mhm.
more of an inspiration for your acting experience outside being a theater kid?
I guess way back when I first had dreams of becoming a voice actor, it was because of anime, and this was like around the time that I discovered acting, like middle school. I was really into anime around then. I had this magazine that I'd get monthly that like I haven't been able to find. It was just called like Anime. It wasn't Shonen Jump. It was just about anime. And they would
Sure.
have little interviews with voice actors and they'd feature like some of the favorites. And I remember one that was talking about like, oh yeah, before I get in the booth, I always eat an apple. And so then before I
Mm.
would like go on stage, I would like eat apples, which made, I'm sure, no difference really.
Well, I've heard
But
like that
yeah.
there's something with like the lactic acid in your mouth or something, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to like clear up any sort of like mucus or phlegm or something that you have in the back of your throat. It's like the opposite of drinking milk, which I've
Sure.
heard is the absolute worst thing to do. So of course, right before recording the last chapter, I ate macaroni and cheese and then had a fudge sickle. So I was really preparing myself for that
Set up
for
for
that
success.
dramatic. Exactly.
Right on. Well, besides that, I do have to say, like, you definitely delivered some of my absolute favorite performances throughout the whole thing. It was really kind of fun because, like, your audition was somewhat random in the fact that, like, I don't know you, right? Like, other than we've been
Yeah.
working together for months now. But, like, we never would have encountered each other any other way. And somebody's just like, hey, I have a friend who wants to do a thing. And I was like, hey, this is a great opportunity for friends who want to do things. But then when you did
Yeah.
your audition and you started doing it, I really genuinely thought to myself, "Oh, great, this friend's also really good at this." Like that's super convenient, very useful. Uh, but would you say that Lieutenant Oaks is one of the characters that you've played the most consistently? Are there some other characters you've spent as much time with? How has that been for you?
Definitely the longest character that I've ever played. And it's funny that you would bring up consistency because I recently pulled up like chapter 9, the first chapter that I acted in,
Yeah.
and I was definitely doing a voice. And then as I like became more comfortable with the atmosphere and more familiar with the character, I dropped the voice. Like I think it just became harder for me to like find her. You know, I
Yeah.
don't I don't have the training to like do a voice consistently.
Mhm.
Um and so with that in mind, I like listening to chapter 9 and then listening to the lines that I sent for chapter 20. I'm like, this is kind of a different person. Uh, but nobody ever said anything. So like I think somebody was even like, no, just your talking voice is very Lieutenant Oaks.
Mhm.
So that emboldened me to just like focus more on delivering lines and less on like being Lieutenant Oaks while I was delivering the lines. But
Yeah.
I've never had a role that's lasted for, I guess it hasn't been, no, it has been over a year because it was September of 22 that I think I was onboarded.
I think so. Yeah, we haven't done we didn't do holiday last year, and then this year we've been
Hmm.
taking in stuff. We finished personally, but yeah, from that perspective, we're still going. So yeah, it makes sense. That fits. Oh no, did my game crash or what's happening here? Oh no,
Oh,
we're fine. We're good.
yeah. I'm like, I still see you. It looks like you're really closely examining a coffee cup,
It didn't like me pressing F to try and put down this thermometer.
which is also like, who would go ghost hunting with a mercury wall thermometer? Like,
Yeah.
this doesn't make a lick of sense. But it might be officially freezing. I don't know. Well, maybe it's just above.
It's
I'm
like
not
at
entirely sure.
0 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
So it's not freezing yet, but it's like at 0.
But it's like, yeah, it's like literally one line above it. And we
Yeah.
did get EMF 5
Yeah. No ghost
and
writing.
no ghost writing. Let's see what if it was ghost writing would be a Myling, freezing temps would be a Jin. Spirit box doesn't exist. Ghost orbs, obake, dots is that other one that I didn't hover on. Let's see, you brought in a dots projector. Do you still have that?
I think I brought it back. Let me go grab it. Yeah, we'll give that. And you know what? To speak to the difference as well, I think when it came to Lieutenant Oaks progressing through the series, she kind of starts off like she's a very serious character, but she also has a little bit of a, I wouldn't call it a tick, but kind of she leans back into overt humor and kind of almost becoming very jolly. And I think that's more when you meet her. And then as she kind of
Mm-hmm.
starts to invest as a character or like get a sense of what's happening, more of her seriousness comes out because she's definitely one of the characters that kind of has a different perspective to play with everyone because she's so independently varied. If you would find the same thing.
I would agree with that. I think there's a lot of truth there. And then especially like it's pretty real. I mean, speaking from my personal experience, like I can definitely come off when people first meet me as like a more chipper, optimistic sort of myself. And then the more that I become comfortable with someone, it's like, oh no, there's actually like she isn't just like this is a bit of an act that she's putting on, this like super chipper
Yeah.
thing that and so it did feel more natural for me to sort of like portray her that way, that when the cast first meets her, did something just happen in my dots? Oh, are we dying? Are we about to die? Something, I think, no?
Yeah, that was a
Did you,
dying sound, wasn't it?
that was like so much groaning. How, okay, well, hey, that would be exciting for sure.
Are Jin's self-conscious? Because maybe that's like a giveaway in personality type here.
Oh, I know that Jin's like energy, so they don't typically turn off like the fuse box, or in this case, the generator.
Yeah.
And last I checked, the power was still on, so that's pretty
Hmm.
telling.
It looks like it was hunting for like a second.
Ooh, and I mean, well, now it's like the activity is peaking. We're not even in there.
Hmm.
Interesting. Let's see. Did I set down the camera or did I take it with me? No, I think I set it down. Okay, let's see. Do I remember how to play this game? That's the real question.
I was trying to
Oh,
get
okay.
ghost orbs too, but I couldn't get anything off of that.
Yeah, and I mean, granted, it's not as though we put it in a particularly great location because we don't
Yeah.
have a tripod. Uh,
No.
but I'm not seeing anything orby. Oh, that's just pitch black.
Yeah. I think I have another camera looking
Okay.
into the space,
All right, let's take a look. Oh yeah.
but even then, like,
Yeah, that's nothing. Well,
yeah,
we could best bet and bounce. We
yeah,
could
that's fine.
okay, with dots, because I saw something on the dots, but I don't know what it like. It looks like a breath of air.
Mm,
Um, and so it could be dots or it could be freezing temperatures.
yeah, that's fair. But we definitely have the EMF. We know we have EMF. We know we have
Yes.
ultraviolet. It's really just that third
Mm-hmm.
item that we're like,
Yeah.
I know I'm not good enough at this game to do like a test for certain things because I know there's strategy there. You can like light a flame, and if it
Yeah,
turns it off, it's this or whatever. But I don't know.
exactly. And I don't think we have like the correct items to be able to do that. Let's see,
Yeah,
maybe here, I'll take another look at the thermometer and
yeah.
see if that's done anything.
Well, we can see if ghost writing is a thing too.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like, at least out of the last time I looked at the book, yeah, that one's empty. This
I
one's
miss the good
empty.
flashlight. Oh man.
I just need to make enough money, or no, get to a high enough level. I think that's it. Is I'm not.
Oh, are we been
Are we
ganked?
dying?
Yeah,
Oh
I'm
no,
ganked.
no,
I'm
we're
being
not.
ganked.
No, no, we're good.
No, okay.
Yeah, the door's still open. She was just doing a big spook.
Just doing a
She's
spook.
still straight spooking. Okay, let's see. Where's the not the thermometer? Where's the light switch? Okay, light's still on. I'm gonna say it's a gin.
All right.
That's my best bet.
Let's try it. Why not?
Yeah, we should at least, at least play like one map fully.
Yes, before it's just like dying and answering
Yeah.
questions. Gosh.
Okay. I'll say Jen. Oh, no? No? Not
No? Yeah, I
yeah, no.
guess I should put in a guess. Yeah. What is the Goryo?
He's a funky little guy. That's what the Goryo is. Um yeah, dots seem to be a bit, and something did happen on the dots. I don't even know how to
Oh,
explain it. It was like a an orb of air.
maybe
like
Goryo could fit because I guess you can only see its dots through a camera.
oh, that would so maybe it was like the dots couldn't show me what was happening,
Yeah.
but they were still like trying to process. I'll do if you want to do Goryo, I'll do Jin, and then
There
at
we
least
go.
one of us should win.
Yeah, this is really about success in Phasmophobia. It's really our top goal.
Exactly, truly. All right, rolling out.
Perfect, perfect. I don't know, like I think in a situation like this, a lot of the characters that we have to deal with would probably be fine, but I feel like the character you got to play is
Welcome
kind
back.
of a person
I've got
that
some jobs ready for you.
could survive almost anywhere.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
the skills that she ended up adapting were just kind of what she had to do, but I feel like there's very few situations that could actually phase Lieutenant Oaks.
Well, you described her during like our very first table read as if Solid Snake was a Valley Girl. And I really latched on to that description, and watching her evolve throughout the series, I was just like, oh yeah, no, I definitely like beyond just like the military expertise, it's like I can see how Solid Snake would have been an inspiration for her. Because yeah, I think
Yeah.
Lieutenant Oaks could have crawled through a microwave and survived it. And,
Yeah.
and that's very, very much a snake move.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I didn't know if you played Metal Gear Solid, so I was like, yeah, realistically, it could be like if Big Boss didn't hate life. If she was like a more
Ooh,
cheerful person, like that's technically instead of having to gender swap Snake, I could just go with Big Boss. But I feel
totally.
like, mm, you know, yeah, Solid Snake, he does have. I feel like because you as the player get to choose him, you can make him a little bit more of a silly person. So if you want to like go through all the lockers or like try and do silly stuff, he has lines to accommodate that. I could never see Big Boss
Fully.
doing that unless she was like sick and dying.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And it's fun. It's like I never played Metal Gear Solid, but it was one that I watched my sibling play like for so many hours growing up. It
Yeah.
was like one of our biggest like bonding moments
Oh,
was,
nice.
sitting behind them while they were like camped out in the snow getting sniped.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's a. I think it's definitely one of those games too that's like prime candidate for an older sibling to show you.
Hmm.
Because if you're
Oh yeah.
young, you have no idea what Kojima is trying to do. You're like,
No.
what is happening here? Why can I pick up this guy that I've knocked out? What's happening? I don't
What's
understand.
happening? Yeah, or it's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, I definitely didn't have like the fine motor controls at that
Yes.
point to be able to pull off like any of that. And I was also scared. Like I still get so spooked when I have to fight people in a video game and they have like real AI, well, not real AI, but they have like mechanics that they can find me and mess me up. And I'm just like, oh God. And so I probably would have spent the entire game under a box just out of sheer fear alone.
That's fair. It's not a game that's conducive to trying to fight everything too. Like you can, but you'll largely get punished for in that game. But if you're young, you don't know that, and then you just be like,
No.
"This game sucks. Why do I be so bad at it?"
Yeah, you're like, they gave me kung fu powers and a gun, and they don't want me to beat everybody to death. Like, what do you mean?
Absolutely. Do you feel like because you're a character that has more expertise, you kind of had to bring a different energy to table reads and how you approached your character compared to the other voice actors that kind of get to be a little bit more fish out of watery?
Yeah, especially in scenes that involved like any sort of like military quote unquote presence or that
Yeah.
like had guns or fighting. Like I remember the elevator scene at the beginning of the Incredible Cat chapter.
Mm, yeah.
That there were like a few lines that I was really nervous about like how I was saying them because I still wanted her to have that like chipper, happy, girly girl feel about her, but also she's
Hmm.
like calling out orders, being like, "No, there's snipers here, here, and here. They're gonna fuck us up."
Yeah.
Uh, and it was like I wasn't entirely sure like how to cross those two worlds in a way that still felt like true to her characterization, but made sense in the scene.
Totally.
And so that was an interesting little struggle there.
Yeah. Purely curious. Did you ever watch much Buffy when you were younger?
I didn't. Buffy is
Okay.
one that escaped. I mean, I've throughout like the last 15 years, I've had so many people try to get me to sit down and watch Buffy.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those where it's like, it's on the list. I have every intention to watch it. Oh, this is a fog map.
It's a big list nowadays for sure.
Truly. But was there a character in Buffy who sort of inspired Lieutenant Oaks?
I think largely I just love like the core dynamic of Buffy is like, and again, Buffy was always a big inspiration for me. I watched that show a lot when I was growing up. I had a crush on a character, Willow, who's a redheaded witch, right? And
Oh, I'm familiar with Willow.
well, the
I
thing
mean,
is
who
I ended up
doesn't have
marrying
a
a
crush on?
redheaded witchy lady named Willow. So like me growing up as a fan of Buffy, I was like, I've succeeded. I'm kind of like I can die at any point. And I already
That's
have
it.
everything I need.
Yeah. You you won.
Yeah,
That's
there's
incredible.
nothing more that you need in this life. But what I like about Buffy in general is that, like, I'm rewatching it right now because I'm showing it to my wife who hadn't seen it.
Mm.
Is it still just nails two like absolute truths, which is something I wanted to try and nail with Lieutenant Oaks. Like, she does have absolutely, truly not watered down, feminine, joyous aspects to her, and then she also has the seriousness to kick in a kneecap and then shoot a guy in the head and be like, okay, well, he's dead now. And like, I feel like Buffy did
Absolutely.
that really well without undercutting one or the other, like without saying like the femininity means you can't do the military tough stuff well, or the military undercuts the femininity. Like, you can do both, and I think that was like part of doing it without being like white knighty and preachy. I just really like the dynamic.
Oh,
I think it's fun.
totally. No, with that in mind, I would say that you absolutely nailed that dichotomy of just like where she has these super, super like girly, cutesy moments, and then in her next scene is absolutely kicking ass, taking names, and not even batting an eyelash about it. And it never
Yeah.
came off as like, oh, sorry, I walked upstairs and a shower is on, and that was really alarming.
Good.
Oh, good. At least we love a clean ghost, you know?
That's important.
Oh, the shower is triggering my EMF. There's also many toothbrushes on the floor. So this might be a bathroom ghost, which
Yeah, I was in the basement. Nothing was happening. So
and well, I'll turn the light on so that way we can find. Is that you? Okay.
yeah, that's me. Hi.
I heard footsteps and
that's
I got a little nervous.
Get a little spook.
Got a little spook.
Yeah, but no, Lieutenant Oaks does live in both of those worlds, and I'm glad that it felt authentic. Because another thing as well with her is like a lot of the times, because as the series goes on, and at the point of this interview going out, it's like very clearly established. But Lieutenant Oaks isn't heterosexual. We don't know if she's like a lesbian, if she's bisexual, if she's pansexual. It doesn't matter. I've never really thought putting that much clarification in a book is important, because it's not a Wikipedia article. You know?
Exactly. No, she's queer. She's here.
Yeah, exactly.
Get used
She
to it.
happens to be having a relationship with this girl, and like we don't need a chapter of being like, well, when I was 14, I liked this, but then I didn't like this, and now I do. Okay, I might be getting murdered, by the way. Oh, a light went off.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Woo.
Oh, very exciting stuff. We're
Wow.
really here for Lieutenant Oak's expression of her queerness.
Yeah. No, that ghost. He was like, "Oh, is somebody queer?"
Yeah, she's gonna be on RuPaul someday. No, I'm kidding. That wouldn't go with the show. She's a girl. I don't think the show's that progressive yet. It's
She
still
could be.
about-
She could be a judge, I think. But
Yeah.
I think she would also have to have like some really, like iconic makeup looks to get her there. Like she would, I
Yeah.
mean, bring in some drag to the military. Somebody's got to
Mhm.
do it.
And no, and even then, I think that's an important point, because I think when you think of, uh, like, say, we'll just talk about it as if she's a lesbian, but you think of like a lesbian
Sure.
in the military, you probably think of a short-haired, somewhat butch woman, right? Like you probably think of a character
Yeah.
like Commander Aberdashi, who's your superior in the book,
Hmm.
but you may not think of the more, you know, bright person. And then, while it's not my place to express those dynamics, because it's a book and it's not, that type of fiction, I also feel like she doesn't give off specifically like dom or sub energy. And I
Absolutely.
think the balance between her and Ilkat like doesn't make one of them submissive to the other. Like they both kind of have 100% of themselves, and they're going for
Hmm.
200% compared to pushing one or the other out of place.
No, I would agree with that. Like their dynamic was always so interesting to me
Mm,
because neither of them, like going into it, like reading previous chapters with Ilkat, it's like sorry, the light started blinking.
that's
It's
okay.
like she wasn't overtly queer. Like there was,
Yeah.
at no moment Ilkat was like, well, me and my gayness are gonna go do X, Y, and Z. Like
Yeah.
none of the characters ever expressed anything like that. And so then for her to meet Lieutenant Oaks, to meet Matilda, and have this connection that I thought was so cute. Like their whole dynamic in the beginning is, I think, very authentic. At least, when I like develop a crush on someone, I'm not cool about it
Yeah.
at all. Like I'm very, very obvious, very like panicked also.
Getting ghost orbs, just so you know. Please continue.
Oh, sweet. That's good information. I just yeeted that thermometer. And so for them to have this like very organic feeling start to their relationship, and then for no other character to even mention it, like nobody, like
Mhm.
this, I love this world where it's like they just accepted everybody as they are. No one was like, oh wait, so you two are you're together. Like it was just, yeah, like they never, and that's like they never even announced their relationship to their team.
Nope.
They just are together and everybody knows about it. And I think that's great.
Mhm. No, that was important too, because like like I've grown up. I went to an arts centered learning school, so you can imagine I was around people on every like dimension of the scale, and I wouldn't even say that I would fit myself as 100% straight. Like I've kissed men, I've
Hmm.
cuddled men, I've had experiences that are positive, and I
Yeah.
also don't feel like that's overly defining of anything, but I think it was important to show like not sexualized relationships, and then a bunch of different types of ways that friendships and relationships can manifest. Like it's not your character, but we see Khan and Dez, and they have a very close relationship,
Oh,
and they even like say that
absolutely.
they love each other, and they're explicitly not romantic. And I think that's important too, because like as much as like female and female relationships get overly sexualized, I feel like male relationships just get no intimacy whatsoever, and like they have to play with this like it's rivalry or nothing for men, and like that kind of sucks just as well.
And it's also like it's such a slippery slope because it seems like women love women relationships are typically better accepted in media.
Yeah.
Like you're more likely to see girls kissing in children's cartoons, at least like overtly. Whereas like if there are like two gay men, they're either background characters or like extras holding hands, or it's hardly ever overt.
Yeah.
uh and then a lot of the times, even when you do have like a friendly moment between men, they're shipped to hell. And it's like, I'm
Yeah.
guilty of this. Like I
Sure.
feel like I've definitely engaged in this, where it's like you see two platonic male characters interacting in like a wholesome or could be interpreted as romantic way, and I'm like, that's it, they're boyfriends.
Yeah.
But it's like we also need room for two men to just be friends and to be like expressing affection on like a friendly level. And
Hmm.
so I definitely, it's like with Con and Des, because I picked up on that.
Got UV, by
And
the way.
oh hell yeah, you're just absolutely nailing it. Sweet, that took Revenant off of our list, so that makes me feel better. uh And so it's like it could be interpreted so many ways that like there could be interest there between them, but
Yeah.
like, this is not the time for them to act on it. Like, hey, uh, shit's crazy every single day. Maybe someday we can. Oh, am I getting freezing temps in this bathroom? I might be. Let me find the
Nice.
thermometer I threw into a wall. Can I pick it up? Am I capable of, okay, there we go. And so, yeah, I loved that they had this affection that was pretty open-ended of like, is there romantic interest there, or are they just really good friends? The ghost turned on the light for me. That is so considerate and not at all
Aw.
frightening. So I see my breath, but the thermometer is only at 10 degrees.
Ah.
Okay, no, we're getting low. So we'll see.
I can tell this game was made by Americans because, like, my apartment is 10 degrees Celsius sometimes, and I don't see my breath. Like, come on, let's be real here.
Oh,
Anyways,
I'm assuming that you didn't turn on the mud
I
water.
did not do that.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, I'm not sure. I feel like the developer might have been European.
It could be either way.
But yeah, Europeans, I'm sure that they're like 10 degrees, put on so many sweaters.
It is going down now, though.
Yeah, mine once again is right above 0, but I think it needs to technically be below it.
Yeah, I think that's actually freezing.
Yeah. Okay, and if I step outside, it starts going up. So it's definitely a haunted bathroom.
Yeah.
Here, maybe I'll let's see if we can get spirit box. Let's see if I can pick up a spirit
good.
box. There we go. Are you here?
Oh, it won't work if I'm in here.
Oh, I also need to. Well, it might if it likes everybody. I forgot to check. Let's see.
That's fair.
Overview. People who are alone. Yeah, you got to get out of here. Where are you? How old are you? Are you friendly? Can you give me a sign? Are you here? Okay, she didn't say anything, but I feel like she's slapping stuff at me, so that's unnerving.
Yeah. Do we have enough to make an educated guess based on what we have? Let's see.
We might.
Just go out here on the porch.
Yeah, do it safe.
Yeah.
Not like me, just opening my journal wherever I happen to be. The last one was a myling, which is not at all what I was expecting.
Yeah, I know, right? That was.
I was personally offended.
It must. Spirit box sometimes doesn't always go. At least when I played.
Yeah.
It was like you had to really push it.
Spirit box and EMF are the two that I find get messed up most often, where it's like you have to be standing in like just the right position at just the right moment to capture anything. Did you get anything with dots?
No, I tried dots. I didn't get anything. I can try it again.
Let's see. Hantu would be freezing temps, which it was close, but not quite.
Yeah.
Obake would be EMF level 5. Great. So just a bunch of extremely difficult. Well, do we have a camera set up in the bathroom? Horrible question to ask.
What for? I guess just to watch, eh?
Yeah, and if we have a camera and one of us goes in there with the dots, then we might be able to see something on the camera.
Sure. Well, I'll put back my thermometer wherever it goes down there. Okay.
How polite of you, putting everything back on the wall. I just throw it on the ground where I'm standing. Like a heathen.
It's just my personality type. Like I love cases. I love putting things back in the right box. It just makes my brain go happy.
So when you were a kid, you weren't like the one that would just put like whatever disc into whatever game sleeve. Like they were all when you opened Kingdom Hearts 2, you expected to find Kingdom Hearts 2 in there.
Well, you see, that's actually why I'm the way that I am now, is because I
Oh.
messed up my games so much when I was younger that like they were all in the wrong case. I like lost all of my PS2 games. Oh, I think I'm gonna be
No.
murdered. He's closing the door.
Mm. Let's see.
I don't know what the new dots looks like. And there's also a
Activity's
snowman
still
in
at a
here, so it
1.
like
There are
moves.
so many snowmen absolutely rocking out.
Not
Let's
a
see.
fan.
I'm gonna come in as well
Sink is going again.
for what is it with these dirty sinks? Did you play this game back when getting a picture of the dirty sink was like a regular objective?
Oh yeah, that was like money right there. It's like, oh great,
And it
bad
was
plumbing. I can pay for my flashlight now.
exactly. But it was also so difficult to get that to happen that I think they turned it off.
And you don't start with
Oh,
a camera anymore. That was me.
okay. Like
Yeah,
a picture camera?
yeah. I thought you used to start with it,
Yeah.
but or maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think you're right.
Can I lay down the dots, or do I have to hold it?
I think you have to hold them. I'm also trying
Hey, look at
really
that! No, you
hard.
can throw it on the ground. Oh, I just
Oh,
got
and
it.
there was a guy. We got dots.
Okay, we got dots.
Cool.
Let's like try and live and win.
Yes. Now we're actually gonna guess it this time.
Whoa, 3 pieces of evidence while we're doing an interview. This is the most
Ah,
successful interview in so far.
incredible. And it's a banshee. Did I actually circle it? No, I didn't. There we go.
Nice. All right. Well, success. And now the game is achievements,
Success.
so I can actually get some achievements while we're playing this. Hey, great.
Oh, hell yeah.
All right.
Because that's really what it's for. Oh,
Yeah, that's
I forgot
exactly.
I got to check. Usually I do like, all right, everybody got their journal filled out.
Yeah. And you know what I think has made this discussion, it's raised an interesting point, because we are talking about like, you know, the expression of queerness and the relationships and modern intimacy dynamics, and then immediately you went to, oh shit, I might die. So I think clearly all political discourse must happen in haunted houses. And that's like how we're going to
Truly.
bridge all concerns between all people.
No,
That's the way.
I think you might be onto something.
know.
Like, why aren't debates done in a situation where you think you might die?
Like, just imagine this sentence, right? Like, I really thought I was gonna vote for him, but then that ghost jumped out of the garbage can and he punched him right away, and I just can't be with someone that impulsive. You know, like it doesn't matter what his policy on Medicare is. You're voting on did he jump on that punch the ghost? You know, it's clear.
Exactly. It's clear, it's concise, it makes sense.
Well, I think we have
That's
time
all.
for one more. So if random doesn't want to like throw us into the prison or
Right.
something, I think we're
I
okay.
mean, be pretty funny if it did.
At this point, you've got to record everything up to the end of the book. So 20 chapters. You joined in 9, so you've been around for about 11, right?
Mhm.
What would you say has been the toughest part of the whole process for you?
Oh boy. Ooh, that's a good question. Um, honestly, it was recording anything where I needed to raise my voice.
Mhm.
So you can see it put us back in the campsite. That's fine.
Random, we got this one
Yeah.
again. Come on, game.
I mean, we could always leave and try again.
There's no harm in that. I'd rather do something different.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. We'll open the door. We'll guess like
let's just
I don't know.
YOLO a guess. What does it seem?
Exactly.
I'm just
I
gonna
went
walk
with
in
the
there, see if I
Revenant.
immediately get ganked.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No flashlight or anything.
No.
Wow, it is so dark without a flashlight.
Yeah, I regret my choice. I can't even open the door. We don't
Because
have
we
the
didn't grab the
key.
key.
All right. Demon. That's it. No.
Demon. They're demons. Demons jam. Yeah, I'll do demon. I like that.
All right. Yeah, perfect.
But I don't have like a professional recording space. This is the mic. This is the cave. I would try like I would put like pillows and stuff up to try to like absorb a lot of the sound, but I don't oh, it was a mimic, but I don't know anything. And so occasionally I'd reach out to like Nancy or Bear and be like, hey, how do I voice act? How do I record? And it like literally wasn't even until the last chapter that Bear was like, "Hey, if you want, you like I always send him 3 takes. Like, what do you mean you've only been sending 1 take this entire time?" And I'm like, "I thought that was I thought that's how you did it. Like I didn't know."
Aw.
So then I sent you so many takes. I sent you all of them pretty
Mhm.
much. But yeah, trying to convey like shouting, yelling, screaming without peaking my mic and without making it sound like it's happening from all the way over here
Yeah, 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 absolutely.
was surprisingly difficult. But oh, okay, nice. It sent us to the asylum, but it sent us to the restricted, so we don't have the entire asylum, just
That's
like a little,
better.
yeah, just like a segment. Yeah, I guess really it was just the learning curve of like learning how to do this.
Sure.
I had a lot of fun with the characterization. I loved the table reads. You know,
Those were
that's
fun.
just like that's just reading a script before, like you start blocking or anything. That's just a good time.
Mhm.
But yeah, and I felt like characterization for Lieutenant Oaks was pretty easy. It was one of those where like all thanks goes to Bear, who was the one that was like, "Hey, you're interested in voice acting. I know somebody who needs a person."
Yeah.
And it just so happened that Lieutenant Oaks feels like a really good fit for like my range, my emoting. Like I just think
Mhm.
that we lucked out entirely. So yeah, it was just the actual physically figuring out how to do this that intimidated me the most.
That makes absolute sense, and it's, it's the benefit of being a project with, like, some newer people and folks who are a bit more experienced in the industry with that
Hmm.
skill set is, like, you can get input from all different directions. If you're feeling like, "Oh, this is a lot going on," you can talk to the folks who are also like, "Hey, this is a lot." But then you can go
Yeah,
to the folks who have done this type of thing before and
or teaching classes on it and
yeah.
be like, "Hey, um, what?"
Absolutely. And, in that way, and, like, this is no detriment or anything like that, but I'm kind of jealous of the cast because, like, for me, On
Mm.
the Line is my 7th book, but I had to get this far entirely on my own. I didn't have anybody to bounce ideas against. I didn't really
Oh,
have
truly.
collaborators, and, that gives you strengths in and of yourself, makes you very independently reliable. But
Mhm.
I can see the benefit of all of the people like yourself who are like, this is my first big project. This is my first
Yeah.
creative project where I'm not just reading stuff for, a shopping aisle in a grocery store or whatever. And, there's that like communal excitement. And I'm so glad that I get to give that to other people because I think
Oh,
if you
absolutely.
have to do it by yourself, you come to a point where like, it's like a party or like being a cool mom. Not that I'm a mom, but you know what I mean. If you can't find
Yeah.
one, you just decide to be one, and that
Mhm.
was fun to get to cultivate for everyone. And I'm glad that you got to have that experience where you got to do it and also work with folks who've been around. And do you think you're gonna keep
Same.
at this type of project?
I would love to if I can get the opportunity.
Yeah,
I was just telling a friend of mine about it just like last week, and she
nice.
started sending me TikToks for like voice acting roll calls, and
Hmm.
I'm like, I don't have a demo reel. Like I have Lieutenant Oaks, and that's it.
Yeah.
I have Lieutenant Oaks, and then the voice of like the UG virtual assistant or whatever you call it, the
Yeah.
IVR. And so not exactly an expansive demo reel by any means. But it's, like talking about like video games, I definitely feel like that would be, can I open the store? Yeah, okay, there we go. Um,
Hmm.
like the next, not best, what is the word choice that I'm thinking of? Like that I would be well suited for it. I don't know if I would do well acting in like an anime, but I could see myself being like the voice of a video game character,
Yeah.
especially after On the Line. I feel like that gave me like a little more confidence in it before. I'm like, yeah, I have a voice. Sometimes people are like, hey, good one. That's about it. Like, I don't really know what I'm supposed to do with that.
Well, I mean, like,
But
from my
getting
perspective, having to, like, listen to everything and put it together, like, absolutely dissuade any lack of confidence that you may have, because you absolutely have the aptitude for it and, like, the natural sense of what's right. I think, like, that was one of the things that I was so delighted with in a lot of the characterizations across the cast and across the characters,
Mhm.
is that whether it was just good luck or, you know, the right type of people attract each other, everyone was kind of like, "Oh, I kinda am like this a little bit," or "I can sympathize with this," or "I've known friends that are like this," and everyone kind of got to take it on their own
Totally.
and read between the lines in a way that I feel like really enhanced the characters. And you were definitely able to do that with Lieutenant Oaks. Like, the best way I can say it as the writer and director is you did what I would hope an actor would do with the character. Because sometimes you just create something and hand it off and go, you know, we'll see. I can't
Yeah.
force anyone to talk a certain way or inflect a certain way. But then you took it off the page, and I was just like, one less thing to worry about is the easiest way to express what happened there. So
Oh, that's
definitely, you
awesome.
have the capability to keep at it if you want to, for
Well,
whatever my
thank
opinion's worth.
you. No, it's worth so much, honestly. Cause like that was one thing that I feel like I keep hearing like distant screams. That's fun.
That fits.
Um, that fits. Yeah, we are in an abandoned
Yeah,
asylum that's covered in blood and teeth. So, you know, screams are just par for the course.
totally.
Uh, but I have never acted alone before. It's
Sure.
like even practicing like auditions for monologues, like I know that that's something that I will need to perform for somebody. And so I would get really in my head recording lines. And there were like a few nights where I would just have to walk away because I'd like look at my audio file and it'd be like 10 minutes of me just saying the same thing over and over. And the worst part about that is that it's like I would, you know, go, I would like have a cup of tea, I would sleep on it, whatever. I'd come back and like it was always like the first or third take was the take that I ended up using. It was like the other 8 minutes of the file were completely useless. And that was a lesson in trusting myself because I would do a take, I would listen to it, and I'd be like,
Hmm.
no, that's not. It's like I don't know what I want, but I don't think this was it. And then I would
Yeah.
did that for quite a few chapters, and it finally got to the point where I was like, no, I think I know what I'm doing. Like I think I don't think it's gonna get better than this one. Like this is fine. And I
Hmm.
don't know why I think it's not. Like I don't know what I could possibly be doing differently. And so every time I would send you the files, you know, I'd be like, I was prepared for you to come back and be like, oh, you need to redo this. I don't like this. This isn't what I was expecting.
Hmm.
And you never were. So that
No.
was, yeah, never once where you're like, hey, dude, what?
Well,
And
the
so
thing is
that
too
helped.
is like, well, I had to re-listen to it in sequence with everyone else too. So when I get back to it,
Oh,
there's kind of like an element of like, sure, how does it sound to you? But it's also like singing without the background music. Like maybe a note that you're hitting doesn't
totally.
make any sense without something else. Um, it's the whole project. But no, I didn't really have anything to go back. I'll admit, like, this has been a learning experience for me as a director
Oh,
as
of
well. I wouldn't
course.
say I'm a overly strict person, and I think it's just because my experience with like with ooh, ghost. Door closed. Oh, I'm dead. I see a ghost.
Oh, but are you getting
I took a
murdered or
picture.
just
Okay, I took pictures. That's all that's happened. I don't know if I'm gonna die.
okay? So far, so good.
I don't
Um,
think he can get to me, so I'm just staring at him. Okay, that was good. I got 3 pictures of the ghost.
Interesting.
This is
All
definitely
right.
the room. I will stand in the hall so you know
Where
where
are
I am.
you?
I'm in one of the
Okay.
wing halls, but I don't know which hall.
Okay. I
Um,
will
But yeah,
find
like
you.
beyond that trauma right there, even me right there being scared, I think that indicates my point. Like I've been in rooms where people have like had horribly traumatic experiences. I actually, without revealing any names or any circumstances, I once was in a support situation with somebody who, as a result of their addiction, had run over and hit the wrong child.
No.
Horrible. That
Oh my
ghost was
god,
scary.
that was such perfect timing. For
But the thing is like even that person talking about something probably as horrible as anything can be, you know, outside of like whatever, pick a horrible item off the list. Uh, that person, they didn't monologue in the way that you would see in a show. You know, they
Oh
weren't
yeah.
well versed. They maybe tripped over their words half the time. The sentence didn't make sense. They repeated themselves. They weren't acting. They were just, you know, kind of like William Faulkner stream of consciousness. Like words were
Oh yeah.
happening and they were trying to catch up with as many as possible. And I think that's the more authentic experience of like trauma or speaking or doing anything, unless you're trying to act. You just sound like a person. You don't sound overly dramatic. You don't make these big gestures. And I think that's
Oh,
why I didn't
exactly.
have to correct too much because I was like, also I could tell like you were working hard and you were doing what you needed to do in the scene. So it was kind of like, okay, if this is what they're doing in the scene, that's what's happening in the scene. There's no like, as long as you're saying the right lines. Like if you just randomly started talking about something else, I'd be like, oh, that doesn't make sense. We
Well,
can't have that.
that's a little random. Like,
Yeah.
what was all this cat conversation coming up in the middle of this battlefield?
Yeah. Or just you just started like adding random details that weren't relevant. Like I really wish I had some cotton candy right now. I'm like, I don't know. You delivered the line well, but I just don't know why it's there. You know, like I never had
But
to do
like,
anything
what
like that.
is this? Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that was something like in some of the I can't remember like which chapter or scene it is anymore, but I remember like listening to an episode
Yep.
and thinking like, oh, it sounds like I'm reading and thinking like shit, I wish I could like go back and act this out instead of
Mm,
reading it. But again, it's like, you're your own worst critic, right? And so
totally.
I don't know if anybody else picked up on that or if it's just, you become so familiar with a line that you could be saying it 18 different ways, but oh, I'm gonna, I think,
Did you get murdered?
not yet, but, um, uh,
Oh, hey, I can see you on the camera.
okay, sweet.
Well,
Oh,
that one.
okay, the door did close, but it is open now. So either he just closed it for funsies or it was a very short hunt. No, I guess that was a very short hunt.
Very short hunt.
Cool.
Huh.
Neat.
Well,
All right.
we haven't really gotten any good evidence here to really quickly discuss
No.
phasmophobia. We've seen a ghost, I've gotten pictures, but that in itself isn't
Mhm.
evidence of anything.
Mm-mm. And I got EMF, but it didn't go up to level 5. I was going to, let's see, I have a spirit box and a camera that I was going to set down in the ghost room, but as I approached, my light started flickering and I heard him groaning and I got scared.
That is fair. Now I've forgotten which room is the ghost room, so that's kind of
Oh,
on
I
me.
can, let's see. It's I wonder if I can even it's like down this hallway. I think it's no, down I think it's this big one with all the tables across from the courtyard on the left-hand side.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well,
I'm
I
pretty
have
sure.
dots and I have ghost writing now, so we'll see if we can
Sweet.
either get murdered or figure it out.
Yeah, it's uh, figure it out or die trying.
Yeah, great way to end things.
Exactly. I mean, it would be pretty amazing if we did both go out in a blaze of bloody glory.
Perfect. I don't
Add
need
a
my
little bit of
money.
drama. No,
Gotcha.
especially because it's like I played the hell out of this game,
Mm-hmm.
and then they did that big update, and we were all just kind of like, huh. Well, that was fun while it lasted. Let's see. I think it's the nope. That's just a bunch of couches. Maybe it's the next one. Yeah, there we go. Is there a ghost in here? Hello? Where are you? I'm gonna set down. I guess I could like look through it. Ooh, spooky. Okay, I'm watching you from across the room. So far, no ghost orbs. Eh. Well,
We'll see what happens, I guess.
I guess we could start saying its name.
What's his name?
Carlos Lancaster.
Carlos, you here?
Carlos. Give us a sign, buddy. All right, I'm gonna set this down. Where are you? Are you here? Let's see, do we know if he likes to be alone? Responds to everyone. All right, let's hang out.
Lovely.
How old are you? Are you friendly? Where are you? God, the spirit box is so annoying now.
It's great. Love it.
Yeah, it was already like it sounded like pouring rain before.
Yeah.
And so they've just made it. Wait, are we about to die?
I definitely hear movement.
Yeah, and my light started flickering. So is he not in this room?
I saw him. I thought like right here, but maybe it was just an appearance.
And like sometimes that's outside. Sometimes they change rooms
Yeah,
too.
the ghost room can change.
Could he be in this big spooky spot? Huh? Carlos.
Gosh. So as we're coming to the end, oh no. Oh God.
Oh, I think he's coming from outside.
Ah, I'm murdered. I'm dead.
Oh no. Oh, I can't do this alone. Are you getting murdered outside though? Nice.
He was like at the door. Yeah. It's good. Good death.
Huh. Well, okay. That is helpful. Can I like set this right there maybe? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll grab a book.
I feel very much like a Hunger Games interviewer now.
Ooh.
Watch her here as she is about to go. What is she gonna do? Let's learn about her before she dies. What would you say is the advice now that you've gone through and you've got to do this like, slightly larger project? If somebody else was newer to voice acting, maybe they've had some intonations before, they, voiced some characters in some old PS1 RPGs, and now they want to do it more seriously. Oh, you're gonna get murdered.
Oh, I got stuck in a left!
Yeah, oh, double murder.
Well, that's all right. I'm gonna put a ghost in my evidence really quick.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Well, that was good. Good murder. We had to get killed at least once. We can't have a flawless phasmophobia experience.
Exactly. And this time it was a gin. Wow, I still made $539.
Oh, that death loss. Yeah, we still made some cash though, so hey, that picture, worth it.
Oh, I guess the insurance, yeah, that would do it. But
So what would your advice be to someone who's new in that circumstance? Based on what you've said, the challenges you overcame, it doesn't have to be, award-winning, but what was the challenge you had? How did you overcome it? What would you share there?
I would say YouTube, like, don't be afraid to like look something up. There were so many things that like so late into recording, I finally was like, how do I do this? What's the best way to go about this? Like the entire time I was drinking like cold water, and then I finally watched a YouTube video where they're like, don't do that. That's gonna shock your vocal cords. You should be drinking room temperature water. And I was like, what?
No.
I was like, that is so crazy. Yeah, I'd say, like, do your research, but don't like do so much research that you like paralyze yourself with it. Sometimes you get like so in your head about having like the best setup and the best equipment and making sure that you're setting yourself up for success so hard that you never actually do the thing.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, but definitely do a little bit of research, because for me, I was like, it's talking into a microphone. I don't know how to do that. I got Bear, I got Nancy, I'm good. And then way late in the game, I was like, I could have looked up literally anything before I did this just to better prepare myself. and then
Yeah.
get out of your head, like however you can do it, whether it's you set like X amount of time and you're like, okay, for the next 2 hours, I'm recording. And once I hit the 2 hour mark, like that's it. Cause I also noticed I would like get so in my head about it, and then I would just like talk myself hoarse, just repeating lines and being like, no, I could do that better, and just like trying to shove like the entire chapter into one recording session. And then I would get to a point where I was like, I don't sound good anymore. I don't feel good anymore. I'm sick of listening to the sound of my own voice. Like I can't tell if any of this is good or not because I'm just so tired. And it,
Totally.
like at one point, because doing it all alone, I found it like hard to act to myself at first. And so for a while, I would say my lines to a friend and just to have like somebody else hearing them while I was recording them. And once I became more comfortable with emoting like that during that, I found that it was easier for me to do it on my own. But I considered just like maybe I should just get a mirror. Like maybe if I was like physically saying it to another person,
Totally.
even though that person's my reflection, maybe it'd feel more natural. But I'm thinking that's coming from my like quote unquote stage experience. Um,
No, totally.
and I also think pushing yourself further in terms of like
Mm.
emoting, expressing, vocalizing. I was about to say vocalization and then changed it at the end. That's why that got weird. But vocalizing, because you can reel in a performance that's too big, but it's
Mm.
really hard to push the edges of like a restrained performance. And there were definitely moments like listening back to table reads or lines that I'd recorded for previous chapters. I think like my biggest regret was not pushing it further, not being more. But then at the
Sure.
same time, like a lot of it is like a pretty like contained situation. Like it's not like commedia dell'arte, like we're still real people. We're just in like a really absurd situation.
Totally. No, absolutely.
So
I
that
think that
would,
makes a lot of
yeah.
sense.
Those would be my three award-winning pieces of advice to anybody who's never voice acted before.
And that's the stuff that helped you, and now you're on to the next lesson, whatever that is, right?
Whatever that is, yeah. Yet
Awesome.
to be seen, TBD.
That's fantastic. Well, I definitely appreciate you taking the time to do this interview, Shelby. I know we have played tag with getting this scheduled for a little while, so it's great that we got it in, we got it done. It's set.
Absolutely.
We got killed by
It's
some
that,
ghosts.
which is I think the highlight potentially was the double murder. I think I died on top of your corpse.
That's okay.
Um, so that's,
Again,
that
even
ghost
then, I think
really.
like one of the things that's great about this is like you meet the people and then you see who they play. And like I don't think, and hopefully this is okay to say, someone would look at you and be like,
Sure.
she's a military like character. Like that's not what someone's gonna look at you and say, right? So I think it's
Oh,
great to
absolutely.
see and talk, hear what you're like, but then also compare that against the character that you got to play. So it's fun, it's good to get that done and see it and have the chat, learn who you are compared to the character. Before
Totally.
we finish off here, is there anything that you would like to say or just put out there? I've given the opportunity to everyone, but there is no pressure.
Oh gosh. Yeah, no, I have nothing. I'm completely unprepared. I've zero shouts to shout out.
That's okay. Sweet. All
maybe
right.
maybe
Well,
if I think of something later, I'll slide that in. Be
sounds
like,
good.
hey.
All right, then Shelby here plays Lieutenant Oaks. That's this Meet the Cast interview. Thanks again for your time, and
Thank you.
we'll have the rest of our day here.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Josh.